screaming and yelling. But back to what I was saying. So once you graduate from school, then you have to look for a job. So, like I said, most people don't realize that, oh, you're a car mechanic, you balling. That comes years later. So honestly, if you don't have 5 years of experience anywhere, nope. Now they're starting to, airlines are starting to hire more people out of school and less experience and stuff. A lot of older people are retiring. But I would say at least take you 4 to 5 years to start making any decent money as an aircraft maintenance mechanic. There's different sectors. You can go to corporate, which are like high end, Gulfstream and Jet Suite and all these other companies that are hiring. You can go on JS Farmer, Indeed, or whatever, look them up. Look up salary.com. Look up entry level A&P mechanic pay. Maybe you said, I want to sacrifice for 5 years and be an apprentice and make 18, 19 bucks and then, slowly work my way up. Maybe you want to go do something differently. You do not make a whole lot of money unless you get to the right place. You will be you'll be miserable. And that's what people don't really tell you, the truth. And I found that out for myself after years being an aircraft mechanic, doing contracting work and doing various different jobs, getting experience. Excuse me. You have to really do your research and research the company. You have to do what's best for you. I would say do what's best. If you want to find a close job at home, apply locally where you're at. But if you want to move around and do stuff and travel, get with an airline. If you want to go somewhere even more stable, like where the airlines don't dictate, like the market and the economy is dictating your job, do the corporate. Corporate is good. You have like day shift hours only, and you work clean environment. You're working with like Lear jets and Falcons and different things like that, which I've worked on in the past. You're working, sometimes they have AOG assignments where you take you go out to the aircraft and fix it out in the field, or you're inside of like a hangar garage facility working on them, cleaning them and fixing, maintaining them, making them look nice when the customer comes and stuff. They'll take good care of you if you get the right corporate place. Then you have commercial side, which is working for an airline or commuter, regional airliner company where you're a number. There's 1,000 employees. You pretty much working overnight shifts. Like the overnight shift is like you're working from like 8 or 9 o'clock to like 6 or 7 in the morning. You're working 4 days a week, weekends, holidays. That's pretty much how it is when you work the commercial world. You have to build up some kind of seniority base to get weekends off, or if you want to go on day shift, they're going to pretty much put you on nights or evenings. And then once you get to build up some seniority, then you'll get to go on day shift. Also, you have military. If you have any military background, I would say a good thing to do is get a security clearance. That's very important. If you don't have no bills, or your credit is good and you don't have no child support or nothing like that, I'm paying back child support and I'm working on getting my credit and stuff fixed. But if you're young, you don't have nothing like outstanding or no bills, apply for security clearance. It's very important. See, nobody told me this kind of stuff. Get a security clearance. A lot of companies like Boeing, Lockheed, Raytheon, L3, Dynacorp, all these international companies will hire you out of the military. You can get a security clearance and you can make good money, out of the military. You can get your security clearance, get your A&P license within a year or so, and you go straight overseas and make 140, 150,000 or 100 some thousand tax free. That's another sector. If you do those overseas contracts, I think they said you can make up to 100,000 tax free. So once you get some experience and you get a security clearance, or you're working on it, you can work towards going overseas, making more money overseas than you would making here. Now, per some places you might not want to go to, like Afghanistan and Kandahar and some places like that where there's some wars, but sometimes you don't. Sometimes you get to go work in Italy or France or somewhere over in Germany at a military base, making 80, 90 grand tax free, are paying little taxes on it, and they're paying your housing and per diem that you won't get in America. So there's various different things you can do. But again, hit me up in the comments, whatever. But like, I would tell anybody, do your research, go on salary.com, look up aircraft maintenance technicians. Now, there's various things also you can do. You have an AMT, which is like an all-around general mechanic. Then you have an avionics technician who basically works on like troubleshooting everything with the electrical system. So it breaks it up as an aircraft maintenance technician. That's a general term. But you have some people who specialize in certain things. You have wheel and brake people. Sometimes they work like in back shops. You have interiors on the aircraft that they do like all the inside of the interiors, making sure the aircraft looks good. They fix any cabin issues with the aircraft. You have line maintenance mechanics who work at airport facilities and some out like places where there's like small airports. They basically do like gate calls. Who you see sometimes people get on the airplane, the mechanics they get on there and they take care of gate issues at the gate. The planes are getting ready to take off or landing. They do that. You have overnight mechanics who work doing the overnight maintenance for the aircraft. They do RONs, it's routine overnight work packages. You got hangar mechanics who the plane's going for heavier checks inside like big hangar facilities and they're there for 15, 20 days. You have structural mechanics who have these big old huge boxes full of structural tools, bucking bars and rivet guns and die grinders and whatnot. They do a lot of the structural sheet metal repairs on the aircraft. The avionic techs, they work on all the like systems that affect the autopilot, making the aircraft run on all its electronic systems. They do all the electrical functions of the aircraft work. They specialize. You have composites people who work on the composites, like the wings and parts of the tails and the engines and radome. They do those different type of specialized jobs. So you can specialize in the aerospace industry. You can specialize in something and be real good at it as well and get paid premium money. So those are just different things, just in general. I wanted to run past you guys. Um, hope this really helps somebody if they decide on going in a career in aircraft maintenance technician school. Again, my advice to everybody would be weigh out your options. You know, go online, do some research first. You can go to the private school, but again, they're going to run you 30 to 50,000 in that range, depending on where you go and what area you live in that range. Then if you go to the military, you're going to have to give like 4 or 5 years of your service, but you're going to get some experience. But again, and I wanted to emphasize this, make sure if you want to transition from military to civilian, even if you're military people watching this, do freighter, do those cargo planes, the KC-10s and the C-5s and the C-47s and the new 767 ones and those 707 freighter. Do the freight. Don't do the fighter jet. Don't do helicopters is good. I'm not really big on the helicopter thing, but you can get out and get a good helicopter job for the military. So helicopters got their own thing going, but helicopters is real good too. There's a lot of more maintenance involved in helicopters as a rotor wing. But fixed wing planes do freight. Again, anybody's in the military or going into the military and they're being an AMT, don't do fighter jets. Don't do no fighters. Either do drones or do freight. Either one. The drones are the future, and then the freight is you can transition and get a freighter job or an airline job because it's kind of some of the stuff are similar, the systems and whatnot, and the size of the airframe they kind of balance out. But if you do fighter jet, they'll take some experience, but a lot of companies won't take fighter jet experience. A lot of mechanics told me they came out of the military and they're getting their AMP, and they didn't count their fighter time. So they was working aircraft, but it wasn't the military don't consider that. They don't count that experience. The civilian world don't count military, but if it's freighter, they'll count it. If it's drone time, you can go security clearance and go work right back over on drones as a civilian contractor, make money. So I just really hope and pray that that you guys take this video to heart. And the other one, part one I made, I started off, but I couldn't finish it. But I hope this helps somebody or someone that's interested in doing aircraft maintenance school. And don't listen to the schools. Again, don't listen to the schools either. The schools lie to you because they want to get you signed up. Look at the community colleges. It's way cheaper. Or the military is an option. Or they even have some programs where you can work in a repair facility for 24 months or 3 years, and they'll sign you off. You know, you'll do OJT, and you'll have a big book stack of OJT items in a repair facility. You might want to go that way and then test out. So there's options to get your AP certificate. You don't have to go traditional school always, pay 30, 40,000. There's other options. But please hit me up in a comment. This is plain. It's called Plain Sense. So leave your comments or whatever in the video. I appreciate it. I hope this helps somebody because this they wasn't there for me when, and there wasn't no YouTube or whatever advice or whatever videos when I was doing it. When I got started, I just listened to advice for somebody, and then they really didn't know what they was doing either. So it was just like just trial and error. So you guys, thanks. Later.